Hello there, my stamping friends. Welcome to the stamping studio. I am just going to make sure that I am actually in landscape mode. So if you're seeing this, can you just let me know if you see me in landscape? Hey, Nancy, I just saw that you checked in here. Can you see me in landscape mode? Or am I in portrait mode? No, it looks good. All right, I just can follow myself on my iPad for a minute. And let's see if I can get those comments up here so I can answer as we go. Oh, thanks, Andrew. Looks great, he says. All right. Hey, everybody. I hope you are having a great Saturday. Thanks, Nancy. I really appreciate it. I've been struggling a little bit with getting this portrait or landscape, and I think I've got it down pat. Can everybody see everything? Are the lights okay? I hope so. Good. Well, thank you, everybody, for joining me. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Carol. Carol's on. I'm so excited. Carol is like my up line and on the West Coast. Hey Kim, how are ya? I am coming in here today to show you guys about an interlocking gatefold. I'm gonna grab some water. Hold on a sec. So while we're waiting for people to come in, I'm just gonna go over a couple of things. This is what we're gonna make tonight. I also just wanted to remind you guys that this is a class I had going. I still have some left, so if you want to order this and just do it for birthday instead of Mother's Day, you can totally change this up. And this is a photo album, or you can put notes in there. We miss you during this quarantine time. Just a lot of beautiful things for the mom in your life. So I still have a couple of those left. If you want them, let me know in the comments. But snag them quick because they're going. And just to give you a heads up on what I'm doing on my next video, which I'm super excited about, is this is a card that I pulled out when we were going down memory lane from like 2007. It's one of the first cards I ever made. And we used to sell this paper where you could do this technique. It's almost a photo paper of sorts. We don't sell it anymore. So I have done some research and I found a paper. Since we don't sell it, I can show you this. And if you can see, this technique for the background is what I'm really excited about showing you guys how to do next time. So don't forget to tune in next week for this one. I will let you know the date. I think it's going to be Wednesday at 8, but I want to make sure I'm not competing with Michelle. So I think it's going to be Wednesday at 8, but I'll let you guys know for sure. Okay, so onto the card that we are making for tonight. I love this designer series paper. I keep mine in a pack. It's called Ballad. It has some wonderful colors in it. And just to show you guys, it is retiring, so you are going, if you want it, you have to get it quick. There's wonderful birds and flowers, bird cages, feathers, beautiful flowers. I love these birds. So, anyway, we have that available. So you can pick that up if you'd like to. And the stamp set we're going to be using tonight, corresponding stamp set, is called Free as a Bird. And we're going to use this stamp right here. And the sentiment that says, "The world needs more of you." Which, this is a really sweet card to send around this COVID isolation time period. I think there are some people that are really struggling right now with being alone. And not having, they're not being able to have access to their family members. So anyway, the card we have tonight is this one, and I want to show you a few things before. Oh, first of all, This is the May hostess code. So if you're going to order something when you log into my website, roselleneastman.stampinup.net, you can enter this hostess code to show that I'm going to be your hostess. If you are ordering more than $150 worth of items, you are going to get hostess benefits. So don't enter that hostess code. If you're ordering less, then go ahead and enter the hostess code. And I'll just slide that right up there. So this card tonight is an Interlocking Gatefold card. And what I really like about it is the way it opens. And that's the inside of the card. So this is a fun little lock, and you are going to put your opposite side of the card into that little lock, and it holds the card closed for you. Okay, so with that over there, I'm going to show you what I did. Hope you guys can see everything. I can't see comments, so if you're saying something, hey Jared, hi Anne, hey Nancy, thanks so much for sharing. Dinah, my friend, I miss you. I hope you're doing well up there in Canada. Okay, so I grabbed a piece of Daffodil Delight. I will give you measurements, but for people that aren't really great with measurements or keeping track of 1/4 inches, 1/8 inches, this is one piece of cardstock cut in half the long way. And then you are going to score in at 2 3/4 from both sides. I could tell you that it's 2 3/4 and then keep going to 8 1/4. That's fine. Or you could just do 2 3/4, flip it, and do 2 3/4. Okay? So you are going to fold your cardstock in. And one of the ways you can do this is just make sure they meet in the center. You don't want them to overlap. And then you're going to use your bone folder to get those creases. So Jared, if you're still here watching, I'm curious what your weather was today. It has been crazy on the East Coast. So I'm hoping it was nicer in Las Vegas. There was some snow, not in Virginia today, but there was some snow. Okay, so once you've got the card folded, you are going to take a piece of designer series paper, and you can choose whichever designer series paper you want. And you're going to cut a piece that is 4 inches by 5 inches. And you're going to cut it in half to 2 1/2 inches. Right there. You can see on my, can you see the measurements down there on the bottom? 2 1/2 inches by 4 inches. And you want to make sure that you actually get them so they're not going like this, or if you have a pattern on your paper, don't cut it like this because then your birds will be sideways. So that's how my paper started out. I'm just going to grab my snail right here and attach this to the front of the card. Now I like to center it up, and there's several different ways I've seen people do it. I'm pretty good at eyeballing it, so I just do that. I've seen other people open up the card, other people hold the card. I just put it like this. Some people go like this so they can see the whole spot where they're putting it. Some people turn the card upside down. To me, it's still just a square. I think maybe if you're a lefty, it might be better that way. It's still just 2 straight angles you're trying to line up. So there's your card piece right there. Pretty simple. Now, for the next part, we're going to make this frame. And for that, let me show you what I did here. I took my Layering Squares framelit dies, and I didn't take them off. I wanted to show you which ones I was using. I'm using this one, which is the biggest scallop. Came from right there. So that one. And then I'm using the biggest, I'm sorry, the second biggest square. That one. Yeah, that one. Okay, so now you know which ones I'm using on this card. I'll just get them out of the way. So I started with a 3 1/2 inch square of whatever color you want. I chose Poppy Parade. And then also a 3 1/2 inch square of white. I cut them on my Big Shot, which I'll show you the way to do this. Normally I wouldn't need to use my big shot in front of you guys, but there might be some beginners out there. So I'm going to show you what I did. So this is the magnetic platform for the beginners. This is my very well loved acrylic plate and our piece of cardstock. Now this, you can see, has the scallop dies, so it is going to be the outside, and you just press it down. It's magnetic, so it stays there, and it doesn't matter if it's straight on the square as long as it's not hanging off the sides. This is the inside piece that you're going to use to make the frame, and you're going to want to make sure that one is centered in that inside the big scallop. So then on top of that, the second plate, and I'm going to run it through my big shot. If you've never seen this before, I will show you. I don't know if my camera is too close to this or not. Let's see what we got there. Snow in Canada? Jeez. Hey, Shelly, how are you? Okay, so what this is going to do is cut off the outside of the frame and then the frame that you need, and keep that inside piece because you're going to use that as well. And then you're going to take your white square and cut out another just regular plain square, not a scallop square. Hey Cindy, how are ya? How's your weather today? You're a little further north than I am. It was cold and windy here in Northern Virginia today, but not terrible, so I can't really complain. Well, I can complain, but nobody listens. My husband's out of town, so he doesn't want to hear me complain right now. But he might be watching. I think I saw his name pop up there. Okay. So what we have now is that is basically going to fit inside of your frame. And let me get my big plates out of the way. All right, so for this, I am going to be coloring in my bird with my Stampin Blends. So I'm going to use my Memento ink pad to ink up my bird. And let's see. Just doesn't even really have to be straight up and down. Just has to be clean and clear. 84 in Tacoma, Carol. Wow. All right. Now for this, the sentiment, I always like to stamp it on my grid paper first, just to make sure I'm not catching an edge or anything. Okay. And then how about right up there? Ooh, good job. I can hear all the applause. Yay, the crowd goes wild. Carol, you did finally find me. Hey Jill, how are you? Thanks for watching. Okay, so these are our Stampin' Blends, and the colors I'm going to use tonight are the light Calypso Coral, dark Calypso Coral, and Daffodil Delight. I'm going to use the light Daffodil Delight. Now, if you haven't seen these markers yet, there's a fatter tip, a brush tip, and a fine tip. So I am just going to color away. I generally start with the lighter color so I can blend in the other colors. I mean, I don't know if I really have any tips about this. I could see where the breast is going to be a little lighter, so I'm not going to put too much color there. I'll just put a little bit around here and maybe just touch it a little bit. So I'm using the fatter brush tip right there on that one, and I'm going to go back and forth between all the colors. Stampin' Up! Does a fantastic job of putting in shading lines. Ooh, I went a little bit outside, but that is okay. So they tell you where you should put in a little bit of a darker color. And if you could see it right here, I'm just kind of going on the lines where Stampin' Up! Did a little extra work for me. And the great thing about this is I'm going to go back to the lighter one and then literally just blend it in. And the more you do that, the more these colors blend, look a little more realistic. There you go. And then it's okay if you color over these. I'm going to take the Daffodil Delight again and just kind of blend so there's not such a really harsh line. You see how that's working there? Now, I did a little bit of a brighter color. I personally don't know that much about birds. I didn't know what color to make this bird, so I just followed the colors that were on the DSP, which I thought, you know, just made me look really super smart. Made me look like I knew what I was doing. There are some birds that had that color on there. Now, I don't know if you guys can see it with my camera being far away, but I went outside the line there a little bit. We have a white color eraser color lifter, so I just go over it a little bit and it erased that, and I can go right there if I want to erase that as well. I am going to use just a touch of the light Pool Party to just make a little bit of sky. Can you see it up there? And what I did for that was I just held it a little bit and I just really did a little bit of sky there. Not a lot at all, just a little bit of a hint of a sky. And then I used a crumb cake. Right now he looks like he's floating. Maybe it's a she, I don't know. I said I didn't know that much about birds. So I just kind of put in a little bit of ground for this bird here. That was the crumb cake that I used for that one, light crumb cake. And then dark smoky slate for his beak. And my bird is complete. So set him off to the side for a second. For the inside of the card, remember, there's a flower stamp. So I'm going to pull out, it was that leaf and that flower. And I'm just going to get another clear block here. I have a bunch of them for when I do my really big events with lots of people. We're doing, you know, maybe we have 80 people doing 10 make and takes. We need a lot. So for this one, I'm going to just start with a simple leaf and then flowers. And it doesn't matter if I'm going off the page. Actually, it looks a little more realistic if you do. Set them off to the side because I know myself and I will put my hand in that ink. So for these, I'm doing the same coloring technique, starting with the lighter of the Calypso Coral and just doing a little bit on the inside of each flower. And then I go to the darker one. Now somebody told me that the two tips on this marker have very slightly different colors. Now I don't know if that's true. If one of my demonstrator friends is watching and let me know if it's true, that would be great, because I don't know if it's a rumor or not, and I haven't had a chance to look it up. Okay, so those are some pretty harsh lines right there, as you can see, the two different colors. So I'm just going to blend them. I'm going to pick the lighter color back up again and just go over the lines where the two colors met. And you'll see them blending. See, can you see the difference between these two right now? If I hold it up, maybe you can see the difference. Maybe not, if I hold it in the light. Ah, yeah, so you can see the one that I haven't blended yet, and then the one I have. Hey, Danette, thank you very much. Hey, Mary Jo. Hey, Emily. Oh my gosh, Emily, your boys are so stinking cute. I can't even. I love all the pictures you put up of them. And the amount of food they eat, even at a small age. Man, I am definitely the mom of daughters. Because those boys, whew. I've seen your grocery cart that you've posted. Okay, so this one is the light Old Olive one. Old Olive Stampin' Blend. So I'm just going to color in very lightly. And then if I want to, we can give this a little test and see if the other side is a little darker. Or was somebody fibbing to me, as my dad would say. Don't be a fibber, it's not nice. Or maybe they were just confused. Maybe they weren't fibbing. Okay, so I think we'll leave the inside of the card like that. You could put flowers up at the top if you wanted. This is your card, make it however you'd like to. So, now let's put this card together. For the inside, sorry, I keep moving things all around my table here. Some snail. And center it as best you can. I don't like to rub my fingers all over it because I never know if I'm going to have ink on it, so I always rub my hands on the back. Make sure that's good and stuck down there. Okay, now the bird you are going to want there, right? And you're going to want your frame around your bird like that. So think of where you want your bird to be. You're going to only glue, you're only going to put adhesive on this half of the paper, right? So from there over, because you only want to stick it to one side of the card. If you stuck adhesive all over that, it would be all over your card and you wouldn't be able to open your card. So you can do this with measurements if you want. So that is, there you go, just about right. So that's just on one side, right? Now to cover that up, because you don't want to see that, we're going to grab the piece that we took out of the center of that frame. Remember that part we took out? Hey Michelle, how are you? So we are going to attach it right there. So for this one, again, you don't want to put the adhesive on that side of the bird. So you're just going to put adhesive on half of this orange, it's not pumpkin pie, I'm sorry, on half of this calypso piece. So you're just going to put the adhesive on that side. So you can line it up along there. If it's easier for you, I'm going to try and get a piece of cardstock for you guys to see this, if it might be easier. I'm just going to grab a scrap out of my drawer so you can see the white, see where the adhesive is only on one side. But now you can line this up, right up to the whisper white. Okay. Now let's hope I did that right. Yes, it still opens. So attach that like that. So for this frame, it's pretty thin. It's about 1/4 inch. So you could use your snail if you wanted to. I've decided to go with the liquid multi. And again, you are only going to put it on half. You're going to put it on the half that's on this side of the card. So while you're holding it like this, it doesn't matter what half you put it on. But you're just going to put a little line of adhesive. I've learned to close up my glue. And then just lay it around the bird frame. See? There you go. Now, if we did this right, it'll work. Let's test it out. Voila! See, I speak French too. No, I'm joking. I don't speak French. It's just I'm glad it worked, because you know things don't always work on videos. They work in person, but not on videos. So then when you're putting it back together, it's probably still, the adhesive is still a little damp on there, that mono. So there you go, that's the card. You can still see the birds on the outside, beautiful bird on the inside, on the frame, and then when you open it up, it's got a pretty frame on this side. You've covered up the part that you've done on the markers, and here's where you can sign your card. Now, as always, just like card companies do, I don't want to give anybody any promotions here, but write on the back of this card, handmade by, and sign your name. People want to know. How many times do you give a card and somebody's like, that is the cutest card, where did you get it? And they flip it over. And it'll say, you know, the name of the card manufacturer or the card store. So, make sure you get credit for that. So there's our card for today. If you want to see it again, here are the measurements. The card base, which is a piece of cardstock, 8.5 by 11 cut in half, right? So it's going to be 4 1/4 by 11, and you're going to score it at 2 3/4 and 8 1/4, or 2 3/4, flip it over, and another 2 3/4. You're going to get 2 pieces of DSP for the front, or you can do 1 piece that's 4 by 5 and cut the 5 in half to 2 1/2. You're going to get 2 squares. One I did here, the one from tonight is Calypso Coral. I brought in a Calypso Coral square that was 3 1/2, and a Whisper White. You're going to cut them out with your framelits, with the layering squares framelits, just to recap that. And stamp and color this in. You can use any DSP. You can use any sentiment you want. You can use any stamp you want. Color it in with whatever products you've got. If you like these, head over to my website. You can pick them up. If you have our watercolor pencils at home, or our Stampin' Write markers, that would work as well. And then make sure you color the inside as well. And of course, what I'm going to suggest is I always want you to do something on the envelope, because we don't like naked envelopes, right? So if you're stamping a flower on the inside, stamp a flower on the outside of the card, of the envelope as well. So let's see if anybody has any questions. Did I miss anything? Oh, thanks, Nancy Joe. You're fantastic. Hey, Cindy. Hey, Patricia. Thanks, everybody, for watching. If you don't mind giving me likes or thumbs up or everything else, I like to see those hearts go flying past the screen. If you comment, if you share, if you like, all of these get you entered into a drawing. I haven't decided what I'm giving away for the month of May, but it's going to be something fun, I'm sure. And for tonight, I'm going to go through this, and I am going to, tomorrow morning, I'm going to go through all the comments, and I'm going to pick a person that's going to win this card, because I've got one already. So I'm going to send this to you because the world needs more of you. So I'll pick a winner tomorrow. Just want to end this up by saying that I recently started a YouTube channel, which I'm really excited about. I'm learning as I go. I am going to do some YouTube live videos just for YouTube. I will take my Facebook live videos and put them on YouTube as well. So if you want to go over to YouTube and find out what I'm up to, at this point, I haven't been able to grab my custom URL because I'm still too new. But if you go over there, you can search in the YouTube search bar for My Stamping Friends with Rose Ellen, and that will get you to my channel. And then just subscribe to it, and like it, and click the little bell next to the subscribe button, and that'll give you notifications when I go live or when I post something. So you'll stay up on all the latest tea, as my kids would say. Give me the tea. So thank you guys very much for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it. I hope you are all doing well in these crazy times. I hope you're staying safe, staying healthy, able to stay in contact with your loved ones, whether it's via Zoom or Skype or telephone or waving to them out your window. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay stamping. Okay, have a great night, guys. Bye-bye.